On a recent development livestream for Cabs of Chaos, I had a viewer ask me about when I was going to release the demo for my game, and the answer was quite simply, when it's ready. We recently just released our demo for Generation Exile as part of the latest Steam Next Fest, so I have some pretty fresh experience in this. I figured in this video, why don't we take a look at what when it's ready actually means and try to answer that age-old question of when is the right time to release my demo. After all, releasing a demo can make or break your game's first impression, so timing is important. Hopefully then, by the end of this video, you'll be able to figure out what when it's ready means for you and your own game, and give yourself the best chance of leaving a good impression. It's pretty common convention now to launch a demo during events like Next Fest in the hopes that it'll explode into popularity, but a demo isn't just a marketing checkbox. It's a great chance to gather feedback and show off the core soul of your game before launch, whilst also hopefully gathering those all-important wish lists. That's why timing matters. If your game isn't ready yet, or your demo doesn't showcase what's to love about your game and its potential, then you're probably not ready. So let's talk about timing. If you hold off on releasing your demo until a week or two before launch, then you won't have time to react to feedback, and you may end up asking for people to put up their hard-earned cash for something that's far from ready yet. You're also missing some potential marketing hype due to anticipation, and if these are things that you care about, then you'll either have to artificially inflate the release schedule for your game in response, or just simply deal with the consequences of missing out on wish lists. On the other hand, you probably shouldn't be throwing out a demo just because you can. If your core gameplay loop isn't solid yet, or your art is still super rough, then players might bounce off it and never come back. Even if in a year or two from now your game is way more fun and looks way better, those first impressions are super important, and a buggy first impression can hurt. So when's the sweet spot? Well, for me, it's the moment that the core gameplay loop is fun and easy to find. You don't necessarily need all the content there, but ideally the game looks pretty good and will act as a solid sell for the product you're making. In general, I'd suggest taking a look at some of the successful demos on Steam in your genre and see what state theirs is in. Is your game in a similar state as these demos? Maybe try to look at your demo objectively and ask yourself if you'd walk away from playing it wanting to buy it. If not, then it's probably too early and you've got some work to do. But if you're closing in on a release date and you really need to get some hands on your game or get the word out, then yeah, it's probably time to get that demo released. As I mentioned earlier then, it's a good idea to use an online showcase event like Next Fest as a milestone, or maybe even taking the game to show off in person at Eurogamer Expo or PAX. Either way, having a hard deadline like that is a good way to force you into a polished vertical slice of your game that you can guarantee will get eyes on it. As far as I'm aware, just launching a demo on its own outside of an event doesn't have much impact on your wishlist numbers, so maybe look at when you're planning on releasing and work back from there, checking to see if there are any festivals or showcase opportunities to get your game in front of the people you care about. A caveat to that though, and some good advice from Mark Brown in one of his most recent videos, is to launch your demo or at least get people's hands on it before the festivals. You will have bugs and you will have issues and you will have glaring feedback that you'll be kicking yourself about for not noticing sooner. I've learned this the hard way on multiple occasions, so please learn from my mistakes and give yourself time in the schedule to get feedback before you go live. Unless you're some kind of game development genius, which if you are, please call me, I have a lot of questions for you, I'd strongly advise against the first build version of your demo being the one that you set public. You'll get a much better result this way, I promise. If you do happen to have some issues, but your game still shines through, you might be lucky enough for people to see the forest through the trees and spot the potential, but why take the chance when you can just give yourself the best starting point possible? An additional thing to consider then is thinking about why you're releasing your demo. If you're looking to gather feedback and shape the game a bit, then you probably have a better chance framing it as a test build and soliciting direct feedback elsewhere than, say, Steam. itch.io might be a perfect place for this kind of preview, or just using Steam's playtest feature instead. Whereas if it's for marketing purposes, a later, more polished demo has a higher chance to impress if it's closer to launch when more of your game is locked down. For me and for Cabs of Chaos, my goal is to have a mostly complete game before releasing a demo to Steam. I'll probably launch a demo with 1 or 2 game modes and a couple of characters, but I want to be able to tease some of the things that will be available in the full game, so I think it'll be better for most of that content to be ready to go before shipping a demo that people can get their hands on. I'm not quite sure yet if I'll include multiplayer in that, but maybe I can do a follow-up video in the future that explores the what side of the equation and discuss the content in a demo with some more insights. Finally then, once you've chosen to release your demo, consider keeping it up to date. If you're not releasing for a full year or you're releasing into early access, you're probably going to have a better version of your video game to show off in a year's time. So consider checking in every now and then and updating it so you have the best chance to impress and get those conversions. Ultimately, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to when should I release my game, which is why the response is often when it's ready. But to summarize, I'd say don't wait until the last minute, but also don't drop a rough build that hurts your reputation before you even have one. And in general, make sure your game is in a good state where it can make a good impression. Ideally, by releasing releasing something that teases the core loop or hook of your game. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully this has given you a few things to consider when trying to figure out the timing of your demo. What about you? Have you released a demo before? Do you have any advice of your own to give? Let us know in the comments, as I'm sure other folks watching would appreciate the additional insights. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like so more folks can see. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.